Hey, Bruce Naylor here, your boomer consumer, and welcome to Coffee Break. This is episode number 2, so grab your favorite soft drink, beverage, coffee, whatever, and let's talk a little bit about HIFI, shall we? And I want to share this experience with you. Not long ago, a relative came into my home, and in my garage I have a workshop, or I'm setting up a workshop for electronics repair, and I've got a couple old pieces of gear from the 70s on the bench. Comes in and sees my vintage Marantz and a cassette deck and Fluence turntable, sees that system, but then comes into my office and studio. There's not one, there's not two, there's not three, but there's 4 different systems set up in this relatively small room. And he looks at me, and this is somebody that's in their 20s, and says, "What's going to happen to all this junk when you die?" And I'm like, "What? Whoa, what are you talking? This ain't junk. I've painstakingly put these systems together for specific reasons, and I've read reviews, and I've been in HIFI for 50 plus years, and I know what I'm doing, and this matches with that." And he's like, "No, we don't get it." So that was a great question, and apparently I said, "Okay, well, how do you and your friends listen to your music?" And he pulls out this Android phone. By the way, they had a cracked screen on it. What appeared to be dollar store earbuds, plugged it in his phone, pulled up Spotify, his playlist on that, and that was his music. Although I think he does own a smart speaker of some kind. And that was it. And then I pay $5 a month, or $10 a month. For Spotify. I don't even think he paid for that. I think he's got the free version. And I get all the music I want. Why would I want any of all this stuff? Look how much room it takes up. It's big, bulky. I can't imagine what your electric bill is a month. We wouldn't have room for all this stuff anyway. And brought up some great points. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. In an earlier video, I said that I believe that the delta between low-end audio and high-end audio is slowly but surely shrinking, that price to performance. Smart speakers are sounding better and better all the time. Soundbars are getting better and better all the time. Earbuds and IEMs are getting better and better all the time. Lossless music and Wi-Fi and your streaming services are putting out high-res music. And is there really going to be a place for high-end audio in the future? And I always thought yes, because there always seems to be, as the older folks in this hobby die off, there's newer ones coming in. I don't think that as much now. I don't know if there really is going to be enough enthusiasts in our hobby to support companies like D'Agostino and Macintosh and Wilson and Magico and the whole laundry list of other high-end manufacturers that are very boutique. They don't have a huge customer base. They're very, very high-end manufacturers. And I don't think there's going to be enough business out there to support them in the future. And even thinking about your mainstream people, whether it's Marantz, who seems to come out with a new model every day, Marantz, Pioneer, all these companies out there, NAD, Name, Leak, all these companies, will they be able to continue to manufacture and stay in business with a smaller and smaller and smaller customer base? I think part of the problem is that younger people are financially strapped, very much so, when the rents are very high now. Vehicles cost a bloody fortune. Many are in massive amounts of debt to student loans. A lot of them are living at home with their parents because they can't afford a place on their own. They don't have the space to call their own. And if they do, it's certainly not enough room to have giant hi-fi systems, and they've got other things, more pressing things to do with their money. See, I've always thought that high-end audio and all that is a upper middle class type of hobby. And even affordable hi-fi is kind of a middle class hobby. And so I just think these younger generations are so strapped for cash that this stuff is very remote. And I think they've grown up with the iPod or the the iPhones and their Android phones and streaming music and earbuds. And I think that's how they're going to continue to consume their music going forward. I don't see much of a future. I mean, yes, there's always going to be a market for the best, but I think there's going to be a lot of consolidation. I think there's going to be a lot of consolidation in the high-end market. I think there's going to be very few survivors 10, 20 years from now. Hopefully I'm wrong. I hope that on this one, guys, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that there's more and more young people come into the hobby. So this finally, besides being financially strapped, I went and seen my daughter and my son-in-law. And my son-in-law has, basically he gave me all of his CDs. He just, here you go. Just 2 huge totes full of AC/DC and all this kind of stuff. I didn't ask what he's doing for music. I should have, but I didn't ask. But my wife went and visited him the other weekend, and I noticed that he had a like a retro-looking turntable thing from, I think, Victrola, kind of an all-in-one deal, and it kind of looks cool. And he had a few records, and I think retro, or cheap retro as I call it, might be in fashion for a while. I don't know whether younger generations are going to continue to buy vinyl, but use low-end gear to listen to it with. I just don't know where that's going to go. I can't see into the future. But I want to end on this note, okay? It is up to us, the audiophile community, to welcome new members, to stop this one-upsmanship thing in the forums when a newbie asks a question. Quit treating them like that they're some kind of alien, okay? Quit making fun of people based on what they paid for their gear. Stop the audio snobbery. It's not going to help preserve the hobby. It's just not. We need to be as welcoming as possible to the younger generation and show them how good these systems can sound and introduce them to what true hi-fi is like. If not, we're going to watch beloved companies fall like dominoes when enough of us older people, us boomers particularly, die off. And be assured we will. And we don't want all this gear that we spent years collecting and repairing and bringing up to date and that is beloved to end up in a landfill because it just was, to the new generation, just junk. So let me get your thoughts in the comments down below. Bruce Naylor, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Take care.